Hello. I don't know if anyone will ever watch this, but if you do, and if you were lying there, or sitting there, or standing there, which I doubt, with a perforated bowel, well, I had one, and we're in February now, February the 6th, 2018, and I had one in October, the end of October 2017, and I'm still recovering from it, so it's a long, long do. However, I am recovering. I'll talk about the cause first. I've got an ileostomy. I've had an ileostomy for 25 years, so that's my background. Um, and there is no, well, apart from trauma, you get something stuck into your bowel and it punctures it. That's a perforation. That's a cause. But in my case, and in most cases, there's not one single incident that causes it. So over a period of time, the wall of my bowel, probably due to obstructing and adhesions and maybe eating the wrong stuff, or I swallowed something and it stayed there for too long in an acid ethanol, whatever it may be, over a long period of time, probably caused my perforation. Diagnosis. Okie dokie. Well, I was feeling unwell in the lead up to perforating. Now, whether I'd had a little tiny one and it gradually opened, I don't know. But I do know that I was in hospital a week before. And my bowel had stopped working. Nothing was moving. It was like obstructed. And then it started working again and I got discharged. And what happened next was I came home, felt better, went out, came back. And I'll tell you now what occurred with regards to when it became perforated properly. Okay, I felt very, very tired, and I thought I need to lie down. So I went upstairs and I lay on the bed, and there was pain, and I had a couple of paracetamol, and there was a lot of pain around my bowel. But I'm sort of used to pain in some way because I've got an ileostomy and I do obstruct, and anyone who's had any stomach trouble anyway will know pain. And it's invisible to everyone else, by the way. It's not like a broken leg. Anyway, I'm on the bed and the pain is severe, and it's really, really bad. And I have a couple of Panadol and it eases it a little bit, enough for me to come downstairs. For some reason, I opened the back door, and I'll come to that in a minute. And I potted around a little bit, and this was, say, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then at 5 p.m., I was back on the bed, and for the first time in my life, well, since I was a baby anyway, I was unable to move. I was unable to sort myself out. I was unable to do anything. The pain came in extreme waves. Now, if you ever, when you go to hospital and they say, what's your pain scale from 0 to 10? And everyone goes, oh, 10. Now, this is 10. This is the real McCoy pain. And I'd never felt pain like that before, and I'd have operations in the past, with my ileostomy. I'd had 3 in the past. And I'd never, ever, ever felt pain like this. And it came in waves. Okay, next thing. What happened next? Well, I couldn't get off the bed. I couldn't get to the phone. But luckily, there's something called social media, isn't there? So I went on social media. Luckily, my unit was next to me, and can someone come and help me? Back doors open, and people came. And I'm very grateful to them. I would have died. If that back door was locked, luckily, back door was open. If it was locked, nobody could have got in. Thankfully, my unit was next to me, not downstairs, for me to contact people. Um, then the ambulance came, and the ambulance couldn't give me any pain relief. They used to be able to do that in the past, but this occasion, no. And they ask you all the questions and everything, then they get you in the ambulance and they say, well, all we do is take you there. And they did take me there, and I went into A&E. And there's two types of A&E where I went to in the hospital in Wales. And one is A&E minor, and one is A&E major. And I waited in A&E major. Now, timing, I now need to tell you that timing is gone. I don't know how time passed, or so don't hold me to, it took 45 minutes for this and an hour or 5 hours or whatever. I was in a cubicle for probably about 10 hours. I had relatives with me and they had 2 meals. I nearly saw a doctor once, but the balloon went up. There was an emergency, so I had to clear off. And eventually he came back and I was seen and I was put in well, they sent me for an x-ray, I believe, and then sent me to a ward and then came back to me over a matter of hours and said, you've definitely got a perforated bowel here. And the surgeon came and he said, I want you on the table in an hour. So I was prepped up and I went down and I got into the sort of waiting area before you go into surgery properly, where they start asking all these questions and plugging you in and everything. And I do not remember anything from being in that waiting area. What happened next? Well, I woke up in ITU or IT, intensive care. And I'd been out for what seemed like 2 minutes, but apparently I was out a long time. I'm going to run through this now. Now, over the next few days, I improved sufficient enough to go to an ordinary ward. But they'd left me with a second stoma above the first one, a flat one against the skin, and that was a double-barreled stoma. So stuff came out of it, and there was another hole for feeding because it was really near the stomach. Where the perforation was near the stomach. So food comes in, I eat, and it comes straight out. There's no chance for absorbing. So nutrition-wise, I was struggling, and that's dangerous. Because without nutrition, you can't heal. What I can tell you was that gradually, the management, health-wise, gradually I picked up. Management-wise of this new stoma, the old one was asleep. That went to sleep because it was no longer joined up. The management of the new was very difficult, very close to the skin. There was leaks and all sorts of stuff, and it's quite depressing at times. But I had good support around me, and great nurses and good doctors. And the other thing is, when you're ill, when you're really, really ill, it's difficult to get blood out of you. It's like getting blood out of a stone. It really is. And they were pricking away at me, and it's like, whoa, it was awful. And they needed it. They needed to test my albumin. Excuse me. What happened next was I was discharged possibly in November, late November, with the intention of going back into hospital to have the double barrel stoma reversed and to open up my new stoma again. I lasted a week at home. I became dehydrated very quickly. Within a week, I was back on the ward, a different ward. I was then pushed from different wards, and eventually I got back on the bowel ward. And I stayed there until Christmas. I then went on leave over Christmas, And when I came back, my blood results, my albumin levels, protein levels for healing, were up sufficiently. Now, I asked what they were when I perforated, and he said there were 6. I said, what's the normal? And he said, well, for male, probably about 35. I said, what will you operate with? And he said 30. Well, there were 28. And he said, I'm good with that because they're going in the right direction. So come back in a week, and on the 28th of December, after Christmas, I went back and he operated, and I woke up and, oh my God, this nightmare of a double-barreled stoma had disappeared. Instead, there was a big hole, and it had to be packed every day with ribbon. And the hole now, well, I was discharged on the 5th of January. I turned the corner. I felt better. The old spring in the step was back, and the hole was there. And now it's like tiny now. And the district nurses have come. And then when I'm back on my feet proper, and I am now, I'm able to go to my own doctor, and the practice nurse does it there. It has been a difficult time. October, November, December, January, February. I'm not packing work. I'm not quite what I was. I'd gone from 12.5 stone to 11 stone. And I'm back up to 11.5 now. Now, luckily, before I perforated, I was on a bit of a fitness drive. And my blood pressure was through the roof, and I brought it down through exercise and diet. And, that helped in a lot of ways. I was pretty fit. I'm 60, I was 59 then, I'm 60 now. I mean, I was fit, there wasn't much meat on me to cut through. And, it was like, I still lost weight. And I've gradually now started to, I've put on 0.5 stone over the last month. Surgery saved my life. Be careful what you ask your consultant surgeon. He'll tell you the truth. He said I was close to death. It was important when they unplugged me from the life support. I don't know what the machine is, but they said, right, we're switching him off now, and if he wakes up, everyone can be happy. But he may not wake up. Well, I did wake up, and I went into the surgery not thinking I was going to die. I was too busy with his pain management. Now, pain management is important. We're sort of, we're humans, aren't we? We say, no, don't give me pain. No, I'll do without. Take pain relief, especially the stuff that you can administer yourself. That's important. And they'll take it off you soon enough without you saying. Always remember to say, I'm in your hands, what do you advise? I'll do what you tell me to do. That puts a responsibility on them. It is patient-led care now. But, we don't really know. They don't know. Only we know our bowels. Only we know our pain. But they do have the tools that we need. And we need every tool. We don't want to be blocking tools that they've got. So that's a little bit of experience about my perforated bowel. My stoma now is back to normal. I've got new scars. I had 2 drains coming out of me at one point. It had to suck all the crap, presumably, that had spilled into other areas of my body. It had to suck it all out. He said he got 99% of it out, but he had 2 drains to make sure that anything left was going to come out as well, because any of that will poison you. I mean, he was deadly serious. I sort of laughed when he said, oh, you were an hour from death. And he was a bit annoyed that I was like an hour and 5 minutes getting on the table, not an hour. But he was serious. He said, you could have died. And, people have died of that. But I never felt that I was ever going to die. It didn't come into the equation. Anyway, that's my story. I hope you find it of interest. It's about 15 minutes long. And let us know if you had a perforated bowel, or, if you're going through stuff with your stoma, you let me know. And good luck to you. Everything will be okay.